Welcome to A Lunch with Biggie, a podcast about small business and creatives sharing their stories and inspiring you. My guest today wanted to create a way to experiment with food and bring Orlando creative community together to interact, eat, grow, sing, and sing some karaoke in their home. Please welcome the founders of Our Home Supper Club, Erica and David Gregory. What's going on, guys?
Not too much. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having a lunch break with me. What's your usual go-to lunch or sandwich?
If it's a sandwich, a banh mi, probably. That's my favorite. But for me, I'm a big noodle guy, so spicy noodles.
Okay, so we can, and I'm fine. It doesn't have to be just be sandwich. So out of curiosity, we'll go with what's the banh mi type, because obviously there's many versions of banh mi, and then what's your noodle type since you're a noodle guy?
Yeah, roast pork from Paris banh mi is probably my favorite, right? So, and then noodles, udon noodles, Zaru is really good. But then if I'm making it at home, it's just noodles and a bunch of chili crisp and soy sauce and too much stuff that I should be eating during the week, probably.
Yeah, all the healthy stuff.
But
what about you, Erica?
Ooh, so this is controversial for David, but I love a good tuna sandwich on a toasted sourdough. I'm simple, but I love a good tuna sandwich, and I don't really hear a lot of people say that. But
No, you don't. You actually don't. I think I've had maybe one guest tell me they like tuna as their thing. So is this something that you make at home or something that you actually go somewhere and get?
Oh, I definitely prefer making it at home. It's one of those things where I'm like kind of picky about because it has the right amount of mayo. I need my crunchy bits of, pickles in there. But I'm definitely not on the raisin side. I'm not on the raisin or apple side.
Yep. Or what about grapes?
I do like a little bit of grape.
Okay.
But sometimes if I'm feeling crazy, I'll put a little brown sugar if I need the sweetness.
Yeah. I've seen that.
I've
seen some of that. No. I've seen some of that. All right. So let's talk about Our Home Supper Club. How did the idea come about? Tell folks about it, what it is. Give me the origin story.
I mean, basically, what kind of kicked it off is during the pandemic, I got really into cooking and just messing around with stuff. But for a lot of the time, I was cooking way too much. So we always had leftovers. So we were inviting people over, we were eating stuff. And then I started getting more, I guess, bougie or fancy with the plating and wanting to take photos and stuff like that. So as I started sharing photos with some coworkers and other people, they kind of suggested that we should be, serving this more professionally, I guess. And a guy that I work with mentioned, kept pushing me saying, "Oh, we need a restaurant." And I said, "I'm absolutely not ready for that in any way." So we started Supper Club, and I get to cook what I want. I don't have to talk a lot. Erica's the personality of this couple, so
we're
works out for the best. Yeah.
It's good, socializing for David.
I'm getting there. Yeah, I'm good.
Hey, then I truly appreciate you being on, David, especially. So I know what you guys do. It's free. It's a monthly. So I'll rewind first because I have many questions. But I guess my first question is this: when David came to you, Erica, and said, "Hey, I want to do this," you were like, "Yeah, let's do it," or what? Or was there a little pushback, like you want to have them come to our house and have dinner, or what was the thought process?
Well, that's funny. I mean, Dave and I, within our friend group, we're known to throw parties, and when we throw parties, like we like to throw down in the food. Like we take the food part, very seriously, and it's usually David's time to shine. But I thought it was like we should have a supper club, LOL. But then like the next morning, like literally the first thing that David says as I wake up, he's like, "Hey, look, I made a website and an Instagram." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're doing it." But I wasn't, hesitant about, bringing people into our home because it's something we're used to. We love having people come into our home, whether it's our friends or their friends. We just love like sharing food and sharing a good time with people.
No, and what I like and what I've read and is the whole thought process for you guys is like you want to make each gathering feel like a kind of like a celebration of friendship, flavor, and community. And I think that's so great. So tell people paint people the picture of like a typical thing. Like let's say someone like me, like I as soon as I read this, trust me, I'm like, I want to do this. So I'm like, so tell people like what to expect. What is the process? Like where they sign up? Give me the rundown.
Well, so it's, all through Instagram. We did try to go through the email route, but we just, learned that a lot of people respond faster and communicate easier through DMs. So we would post like a story like, hey, this is the event date. And then the first six people who message us that they're interested get the invite, and then they get a plus one. But that doesn't mean that other people who message us, they don't, get to come. We'll keep their names on the list, and then, things happen. People who were invited, last minute like cancellations, so we'll replace them. And then we always keep in mind the list. So next time we post something and someone messages again, we're like, hey, we noticed you didn't get to come to the last one. We'd love to have you to come to this one. But as we're gaining more attention, I think going into the next year, we might have to find a new system because it's definitely starting to pile up.
Yeah,
I could.
people are fast with the DMs now.
Oh yeah, they're. It's just Dave and I too, and this is what we didn't really, you know, we didn't have an idea of how this would grow. So
So when you guys, so basically you guys go the route of like whoever wants to come. Like, how do you guys? So you guys just select like first come first serve, what's there and what it is. How often is it a friend? I'm assuming in the beginning probably it may have been some friends. Like, how often is it a friend, or how often is it like I'm bringing 12 perfect strangers that I have no idea who they are come to my house?
I'd say when it started, it was probably mostly friends, and then we kind of switched into we want at least two people we know there, so we have some backup if anyone's a weirdo or goes crazy. And then the last couple we've done have been complete strangers, all of
yeah,
them, right? So we do as much vetting as we can through Instagram and stuff like that. Make sure there's some mutual friends and make sure there's no
yeah.
obvious red flags. But
We
yeah,
haven't had anything crazy
yeah, so far
happen.
nothing.
Knock on wood.
Okay. D- David, I'm kind of curious. How so tell me how you come up with the menu. Like how what's the thought process when you guys ever like every month is there like a theme? What like, whatever you just feel like whatever's out there, what like how do you come up with the menu?
Yeah, so for me, I kind of have it broken down into sections now, right? So the first one's always bread and butter. That's one thing I've gotten into is making different kinds of butters. Then it's always some sort of vegetable cooked a certain way, and then the last one's usually something fried or a protein. Or I really like doing raw dishes as well, so a lot of raw fish. And then for dinner, it's always a pasta and then a protein. That's what I do, and then dessert Erica handles. So I've done some where they're more themes like Mediterranean or Italian and Asian, but then some have just been all over the place. So it's really just what I'm into at the moment. Like if you look at my Instagram, my saved photos, all it is pictures of food and furniture. That's all it is. So if I'm watching TV, it's always cooking shows. So
Yeah.
I
Do you,
just like to go buy random stuff and throw things together in the kitchen. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it works out in the end most of the time.
do you test out the menu before you serve it for everyone?
Yeah,
Oh man.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. By the time it's the dinner, I'm already overeating.
You're
Like
over it. Yeah.
I'm over
Yeah,
it. Everyone's like, Erica, why are you not sitting down and eating with us? I'm like, trust me, I had this meal
yeah,
so many times. I mean, it's delicious, but there's only so many times I can eat it where I'm like, wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the start, I would say it's more winging it a couple times, but then as we've gotten more organized, I like to run through it to see how much we can prep in advance so it can run smoother day of and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I was going to ask about that cuz like David, you get to do like are you because I know how sometimes like I love to cook, but I'm horrible at like the pacing part of it, where I feel like I'm always cooking and then I'm always like either the last one eating because I know I don't eat get to eat. Like, do you actually get to sit down and eat with everyone, David? Because especially if Erica's playing host and you guys are kind of working and prepping, or how does that work usually?
no, I'm too awkward for that. So I just serve the food, tell them what it is, and go back to the kitchen.
No.
Yeah,
Listen, I'm trying my best to like get this guy to like
yeah,
talk more. But no, we've been that's something we've actually been talking about this past year. How can we be more involved at the table? Because there's some really good conversations and a lot of good stuff brewing at the table that I feel like we miss out on, especially David. So we kind of have like the appetizers, and then right after the appetizers, we go into our intermission, and that's where we all relax for a second, let the food digest, have some karaoke time, and then that's when David gets to like hang out with everyone for a bit, and then after the entrees, David hangs out again.
So, and thank you very much, because that was my next going to be my next question. What is your go-to karaoke song? If you guys do this every month, do you guys go? Do you always have to start it off, or do you usually have someone that starts it off? And if not, what is your go-to karaoke when you guys sing?
Oh well, I try not to steal the stage right away, but I try to like get people amped up for the karaoke. Maybe have the wine flowing a little bit. That's usually the trick.
The liquid
But my
courage.
yes, but my usual song, which is not a party banger, I love some Patsy Cline, "Crazy" by Patsy Cline. David has some really good ones though.
Yeah, I'm starting to get used to the karaoke a little bit.
The
So.
Shy Guy started coming out.
So, what do you
Yeah,
usually sing, David?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it gets me in trouble, but I like to do "Angel" by Shaggy, and I like to do the Shaggy
He
voice.
does the
So
accent.
that
I
one
love.
and "How Bizarre" by OMC. I've been doing
Yeah.
that one a lot. Yeah. So
Okay, those are some fun ones.
yeah.
Some
Very,
classics.
very
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I think this is I love the fact that you guys have a little karaoke action in the middle of it. When you guys do this, is it usually like on a weekend or weeknight? What I know you guys do it monthly. Like, is it always like the third week of a thing? Like, is there kind of like like a systematic way of doing it, or you just kind of figure out a day of the month that works best and set it up?
Yeah, it's always a Saturday, typically closer to the end of the month, but we've sometimes it's been one at the end, one at the beginning, just because we have other things going on that we need to
Yeah.
push the dates around. Sometimes we take a month off because we just need a break, but yeah, for the most part, it's always on a Saturday for sure.
Yeah.
Except for the only one we ever got paid for, which was on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Was that the last one you guys just did?
Yeah, that was at
The
Whippoorwill. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a
I was
good
going to
one.
ask about how did that one come about?
So Jenny from Sketchbook Club, we love her.
Yep.
Um, she was at the time she was doing running social for Whippoorwill, and she was killing it. And she knows the new owners, and she was just trying to figure out different cool events to set up for Whippoorwill. And she reached out to me immediately, and she's like, "What do you think about this idea?" And when it comes to Jenny, when she has an idea, it happens like that. There's no like talk about it and like daydream about it. So when you agree with her, it happens immediately. So once we said sure, she started planning everything, and I swear that lady is the best event planner. Like everything she does, it's crazy and it's always good. So
That's awesome. And then was with that one, did you have the same amount of people, or did you have more people than you usually have for when you did that one, when you did that event? Was it more than the 12?
no, it's still just 12.
What do you think has been so far your favorite memory doing these monthly supper clubs?
I think mine is when we had a couple that came all the way from Tampa just for the supper club,
Wow.
and they got like a hotel nearby, and I think that was such like a sweet night. And we had another couple that was like completely new in the area, so I think it's more like when people just come and take the risk of coming to some stranger's house to eat.
Yeah. No, I think that's the thing I love about it. I think I laugh because um I talk to my wife. Every time I have a podcast guest, I always like talk to my wife and my daughter about like who I'm going to talk to, or they ask me like who are you going to talk to, and I told them I was going to talk to you guys, and I told them, I said, oh, I think I signed up for like their newsletter type thing, because I'm like I want to go. I'm like I want to do this, and so then I looked and my wife was like, oh, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I'd be able to. She's like, "You just gonna go?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "What? So you're not gonna come with me?" And she's like, "No, I'm not coming with you." I was like, "No,
She's like, "You're on your own."
yeah, you're on your own." And I was like, "That's I don't." I'm like, "I don't care." I'm like, "Whatever." I'm like, I feed off the energy. I love meeting new people. And I think that's one of the fun things that you got. One of the reasons why I think this is so great, because it is does happen that as you get older, it is harder to meet new people, and be able to have that conversation. I mean, yeah, you have your coworkers that you create, relationships with your coworkers, but and then you may have like some old college friends or old elementary school friends, but then you sometimes don't meet other people, and it's great. It's nice to be able to experience something like this that's so different. So and that's one of the things that I kind of like got me excited about wanting to chat with you guys, because I have noticed, I guess this is very popular in London as well, like in England, that it is a popular thing and other places do it, but the fact that you guys are doing it here in Orlando, I think is, especially since there is such a massive creative community. Not that everyone's got to be creative to be
Yeah,
coming to this, but it is something that I think is a cool way to be able to just like, it's nice to be able to meet new people and be able to interact with them.
I totally agree. I mean, I like you said, you don't have to be a creative to come and join us, but it's definitely attracted a lot of creatives, and within Orlando, we all kind of know of each other, and it was fun to like, oh, we kind of know each other. Now we get to actually sit down and talk to each other and like really get to know each other. Oh, and then we have something really cool in common. Then you become friends afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Do people ever bring stuff to your supper club?
Absolutely not. That's
They
our
always, they
rule.
always want to.
Yeah, they
Yes.
always want to bring something.
Yes. And then they always want help clean at the end. And
Yeah.
we put up this kind of shield of the kitchen so no one can really see in it when we're in there, because by the end of the night it's just a disaster. And then, but whenever everyone's done eating, they all want to help clean up, and they're just coming in with plates, and we just have to like push them out and say please no, because we don't want them to see the madness that's going on in the
But we
background.
do appreciate it. I love that people, come here wanting to give us something. It just goes to show how much what we're doing is appreciated.
What do you think you guys have gotten out of doing these?
Ooh.
What do you think has been like the big thing that you guys have gotten? Because obviously it's a lot of work. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of
Yeah,
work. It's free. You're not
yeah.
charging anyone for it. And it's a labor. Obviously, there's passion involved in it. But what are you getting? What is it filling your cup? How is it filling your cup? Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this.
Um, well, that's it's such a good that's such a good question because I think I gained so much. First of all, I mean, I've met Nat from Soulshine and Jenny and Bang Bang Bakehouse, like all these people, like people you've interviewed. I mean, I met them through our supper club. And now I have these amazing relationships and friendships with them, and we're gnarly girls, gnarly Cuban girls. Love them. I met them through here, so I honestly would have not met any of them if it wasn't for our supper club. And like, I just feel so rich in the friendship that we've built from it.
Yeah, and I'd say for me, it's just work is stressful. I work really weird hours a lot of the time, so this is just something I get to look forward to, right? So I get to plan it, and then when it comes and people say they like the food and they have a good time, and same as the Garrett said, we've made a lot of cool friends through all of this that we hang out with regularly now. So it's just for me, it's a release, right? You know, 29 days out of the month are stressful with other things, but I get that one day a month that I can have some fun, right? So the cost doesn't really matter at that point, right?
Yeah.
It's just having a good time.
And
Yeah.
it's also cool to hear people say, like, oh, I've always wanted to try this, or I've been kind of curious about it. But, when you go to these nice restaurants, they're really expensive and also worth it. But, like, they get to try it at our house and feel like they got to experience something they thought they weren't going to experience.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They one of the things that I've and I can't remember who it is because I've spoken to so many people, but one person made a great comment to me once that said, when like there's sometimes when you say, "Hey, I don't like this," and someone else may like it, but it's always different when someone who likes something that you don't like prepares it, then you get to try it their way, and then you actually may like it because it maybe you just didn't make it the right way because you didn't know any better trying to do it. So the fact that David gets to do something that he loves and obviously has done it numerous times that you've tried it, Erica, he's already
Right.
gotten to a point where everyone's happy with it and able to share it, and then people are able to actually enjoy something that that obviously David got to prepare and create. um that's a, I I really absolutely love, like, this is one of the reasons why I'm really glad you guys accepted to come on be in the podcast, because I love things like this when people are passionate about something, that want to create something, the community part of it. The fact that you guys are doing this not to get something out of it, you're getting something out of it, but not to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's not like an ulterior motive when it comes to something like this, and I think that's why you get such amazing like benefits back from it, because they're obviously going and they're interacting, and they want to be part of this as well. So it's like, and they see what you're providing, and I think that's like the best part of it. Like, that's the part that fills and
Yeah.
does all those things. So I think that's awesome. um what do you think has been the most challenging part of doing all of that?
Cleaning up the next day, that's never fun. But
Yeah, like
if,
cleaning
if
up
I'm
is
honest,
rough.
yeah, that's,
We don't use disposable plates or utensils here, so every
don't
single
like that.
thing gets washed. But I think, I mean, I barely come from a service industry. Like, I don't. I worked at Applebee's when I was 18 in New York. That for like 2 years. So that is as far as my restaurant experience goes. And David, never worked in a restaurant, so we're learning things as we're going, and definitely learning some lessons. Like, oh, we definitely could have prepped that, or we could have, I think the prep was something that was challenging, and then I think this year we kind of finessed it.
Yeah, because you guys started in 2023 to doing these, right? So now
Yeah.
you're almost, yeah, 2 years under your belt now. Which is impressive. What have you had any, I guess, any, trying to think of like anything odd, like, is there anything that's odd that's happened, or super memorable that's happened? Obviously the people coming from out of town is awesome, but has there
Yeah.
been any of those that you're like, I'm never going to forget this? Or, have you had moments like that? I'm assuming there always
Oh,
is. Or
I
maybe people that knew each other, or clashes, or anything odd or bizarre, anything like that.
thank God. Like, that's another thing that I'm always afraid of. Like, what if we invited two exes at our place and it's super awkward, or they're both with their new partners, or some dramatic background? Because Orlando's small, and
Yeah.
the more we invite people, the more we're getting everybody in this house. But luckily, on a negative note, I mean, we've done really well. Like, there hasn't been anything bad or scary that happened. Um, I will say we had our first Kamayan. We had a bunch of. It was like our first big one. So the Kamayans are usually like 20 plus people, and it happens once a year. But it was so funny because as people were walking through the door, they're like, hey, friend, I just saw you today," and like a lot of people who know each other just like happened to come to that one event. But as for like memorable moments, there's just so many, and not to like, you know, I don't have a favorite child, but like every supper club night has been so good. We've had really fun, almost party rager ones. We've had very lighthearted ones. We had, I don't know. They're just each one has been uniquely like awesome.
Do you guys take I didn't get a chance to look, but do you guys like take like almost like a, not a family photo, but like a group photo, so like you have like, so you can like almost remember every single one, like, of who is there for dinner? Like, is there like a selfie or something that you guys do to kind of like stamp it, or like kind of remember it, to archive it for the future?
Grab what?
No, guess what?
Oh, yeah. So, end of last year, one of my coworkers, we did the Secret Santa, and they knew of our supper club, and he gifted me a guest book, which we put to some use this year. And and I have like a little Instax camera, and people take pictures and they sign it, and the this is actually one of our favorite things we love to look forward to at the end of the night. So let's see. So we just have like people like
That's awesome.
take a picture and like leave messages. It's like
I love it.
it's the sweetest thing, and it's already like filling up. I need to get a new one for next year. But yeah, so that's our version of like the giant photo of everybody. Also, I mean, throughout the night, I film stuff and I take photos. I don't know if you look through our
Yep.
Instagram, but
Yep.
I just make a little quick recap of our evening.
No, I
Um,
love those. Yeah, that's that. Those should be fun to be able to go back and like and flash back and be like, oh my gosh, I remember that, and that was so good, and I
yes.
remember so and so, and how great is that? So yeah, no, I think that's so memorable. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I was just kind of curious because I was like, man, I'm like so many of them. How do you remember and how do you have and like and just kind of and things like that. So I think that's fantastic.
And I think the benefit of us like keeping each dinner pretty intimate, like capping at 10 to 12 people, we really get to know them and then we continue conversations afterwards. So we get to know them on Instagram and then we do have a lot of people that come back to Supper Club, which is really fun. And that's how we get to remember everybody. And of course, we've made really awesome relationships with some of
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Like if you allow repeat eaters to come back, and it would make sense considering if you want to have at least like a pair or two of folks that you know, because I think that's always good to have kind of in that like that safety
Yeah.
net. That or even like the safety net friends that you know are like social that you can like, oh, these people will
Oh,
be
yeah.
good because you can like throw them anywhere. Like because I've been that person sometimes like where I'll go and like my friends will be like, I put you at the table where it's like a hodgepodge of people, but we know that you'd be okay with it. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's go. I was like, so yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah, we actually encourage people to come back and reach out to us. I hope no one's ever shy to ask because we've had people message like, "Is it okay to come back?" I'm like, "Please, yes." But yeah,
That's awesome. Um, what advice would you have for someone wanting to start something?
Just do it. Really, that's all it is, right? Don't drain your bank account and spend every dollar you have trying to do it. But start small because I mean, in my opinion, if it's something you enjoy doing, there's probably other people that enjoy it too, right? So it might not grow quickly. It might take a little bit. So, but as long as you stick to it and commit to it, then you can get to wherever you want to get to, right? So, like when we started this, like I said, I think I said this before. The first couple were just our friends, right? So it was a crowd of people we were familiar with, but then friends told their friends, and then their friends' friends told their friends, and now it's grown. I think we almost have
and
it's
we
like
were
600
not.
people now, and we can sell out a dinner and or not sell out, but fill up a dinner within a couple days, right? So that's just sticking to it, and you know, sometimes it's not easy, sometimes you have challenges, but just sticking to it. That's all it's doing.
Yeah, and if you feel so passionate about something, I mean, there's going to be something rewarding coming from it if you go after it. And just
Yeah,
be like Jenny. You want to do something, freaking do it. Make it happen. I'm inspired by her.
I love it. I love it. No, she's great. She's great. I'm super excited for the things. Who knows? Maybe you guys will have one of your supper clubs there as a possibility, as a future occasional one, a special one. We may have to talk. We may have to talk because I literally was like, oh, I'm like, I wonder if they've ever done a sandwich themed one. I would love to go to a sandwich themed
Ooh,
one. I
I've
think that
been,
would
I've
be
been,
amazing. So I'll just throw that out there because I love having ideas and that one and when there's food involved, I love food. Heck, I make everything into a sandwich if I could, but
yes.
no, I definitely but I think this is spectacular. I think this is I definitely you will see my name pop up on there if I can get there fast enough to get selected to come join you guys because I'd love to one meet you guys in person and interact with other folks and experience this because I think we do need as much community and as much um, you know they say that sometimes the best way to actually break is to break bread with someone, so which I think is
Mhm.
great that you're in the bread and butter as a thing because I think that's like there's something special about really sharing a meal with someone, and spending a few minutes with someone. It's kind of a great connector. So I definitely think it's what you guys are doing is awesome. I love the fact as someone who used to do I used to do sandwich eat up events where I would go to other small businesses and have eat at small businesses and I would basically just do it just to help another support another small business. I know it's a lot of work. But I also know that it's like it's an amazing feeling to be able to kind of have that camaraderie, that relationship, and that thing. So I think it's awesome what you guys are doing, and definitely I am kind of curious before I ask my last question. Is there, now that you're, as you're doing this and you're getting better at it, is there like an ultimate goal or something that you would love to, like, let's just say, like, is there anything you want to manifest today to get out there of like what you would love to where you would love to see, our home supper club become or do or be?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I think what we have right now is pretty awesome. So I don't want to get too big in the head and think it can become too big, right? But we have a lot of fun things and collaborations in the works for next year that I'm excited about. That will be outside of our house and doing some different things around Orlando. So
Awesome.
right, so we're growing. So we're getting into some fun things. So I think we're just keeping it organic. As things come, we're taking advantage of them, and we'll just go from there. So
Yeah, I mean, basically what he said. I mean, when we started, we didn't really have this big, grand idea of what the
Yeah.
supper club could be. It was just supposed to be a thing where we hang out with people and eat food. But yeah, I just can't wait to see where this goes. I mean, 2024 has been so good to us that I don't even know what 2025 is going to be like.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, it'll be pretty great, because I mean, even if it's as good as 2024 and you repeat it again, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like it's like exactly where it needs to be and where it's at in the process, in your journey. So I think that's awesome. Tell people how they can follow you, how they can sign up to be part of the our home supper club. Let people know how, all that stuff, all those details will be also on the show notes. But as they're listening now, they're probably like, oh, I want to know. Tell me the socials, tell all that stuff, so that people can listen and follow and support you guys.
You can find us at our Instagram at our home SC. Um,
and then we have a website, ourhome.club, that you can sign up, and randomly we'll send out a newsletter or a message on there. But we don't really use the website.
I swear, 2025, we're
But
gonna
I
we're
spent
gonna
some
do
time
better.
I spent some time building it, so at least check it out. I guess.
Yeah, I did check it out. I actually signed up, that because I thought that's how I needed to sign up in order to sign up for dinner. So that's how I did it. But I will go in the Instagram as well and do it through the Instagram. And definitely peep and have notifications set up, so I can, when the story pops
Yeah,
up, I can jump on that.
Absolutely.
awesome.
And we have had people come alone before, so
Oh
don't feel
yeah,
like you have to bring someone
No,
if you're
I
like
figured
us.
that. I
but
figured
tell
that
them we're
would
nice.
happen. Yeah. I figured if anything, that would just mean some other person can bring someone else, or if not, something to that effect, if you decide to go. And that's good to know, especially if you're, that's good to know. You don't need to bring someone if you're new to town and you don't know anyone and you want to just meet friends.
Yeah,
What a great way to do it. Just come and, have dinner, and you'll end up meeting like 11 new people, that you get to enjoy and have dinner with.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. That's our show for today. Thank you so much to Erica and David Gregory, of Our Home Supper Club, for being on having lunch with me during my lunch break. Make sure to check them out. If you've gone to a supper club, one of their supper club meals, and enjoyed it, obviously post pictures, share it, spread the word. Word of mouth, greatest thing ever. It's just as good as spreading PB&J. It's like everyone loves it. Definitely make sure, if you enjoyed the show, subscribe, tell your friends. If you want to support me, check out my brand, Deli Fresh Threads. And obviously, I'm always down for a good sandwich selfie if you ever take one of those. Thank you. Until next time, keep eating sandwiches and follow your passion.